So what we're going to talk about now is the cost of home ownership. A mortgage is an installment loan given by a lending institution to a borrower to help finance the purchase of a home or other property. The amount of mortgage or the amount to be financed is the principal. It is a secure loan since the home property acts as a security for the payment. The term of the loan can vary, but it is usually a 15-year or 30-year loan. And there are two main types of mortgages. There is a fixed rate mortgage, is a loan where the payments are the same throughout the loan. This is a fixed installment loan. There's also an adjustable rate or a variable rate mortgage, which is called an ARM. It is a loan where the payments can change after a period of time depending on interest rates. Although the payments are initially smaller than a fixed rate mortgage, since the ARM starts with a lower interest rate, payments can end up being much higher over the lifetime of the loan. And given this current interest rate environment we have in 2020, there's no reason anyone would really want to get an ARM because the regular interest rates are so low. Here's some terminology involving mortgages. First of all, it's appraisal. It's an evaluation done by a professional to determine the actual value of the property or home. For instance, if a home is appraised at $210,000, that means it's worth $210,000. Closing costs are expenses charged by the lender for the purchase of the home, and they include all the following things. Lots and lots of expenses. And we'll discuss what each of those are. Down payment is the amount the buyer pays the seller up front. If the buyer puts 20% down, that means the down payment is 20% of the purchase price of the home. So if the house is selling for $205,000 and 20% of that would be 0.20 times $205,000, that would give us $41,000. So 20% down would be $41,000. The amount to be financed would then be the difference between that, which would be $164,000. Escrow account is an account administered by a third party on behalf of the borrower and lender, where the borrower makes monthly deposits and the money is used to pay insurance, both home and PMI, and property taxes. Many lenders will require an escrow account until the balance of the mortgage is below a certain percentage, usually about 50% of the property value. Foreclosure is a legal process where a lender takes back possession of a home since the borrower has stopped making payments on the loan. Mortgage payment is the payment made during each pay period, usually monthly, and includes principal, interest, and any payment to an escrow account. Origination fees is the charge by a lender for initiating and processing all the paperwork for the mortgage. PMI is private mortgage insurance. It is required if a borrower's down payment is less than 20% of the value of the home. The insurance protects the lender from loss should the borrower end up in foreclosure. Points, or sometimes called discount points, are a one-time upfront fee a borrower pays for obtaining a mortgage. By paying points, the borrower can get a slightly lower interest rate. Each point corresponds to 1% of the loan value and can be thought as prepaid interest. So if the mortgage was for $164,000 and the borrower paid 2 points, then the fee would be 2% of $164,000, which would be $3,280. Recording fee is paid to the city or county for recording the change in ownership. A survey of the property is done to verify the actual property lines and determine if there are any easements. The title to a property is evidence that the owner is the lawful possession of the property. Title insurance is insurance that protects the borrower and lender from any property loss or damage from issues with the title that occurred prior to the purchase of the home. These include, but are not limited to, liens, easements, improper recorded documents, forgery, and encroachment. Truth in lending disclosure statements give the borrower the actual APR after incorporating the interest rate and points. And underwriting is the cost charged by the lending for evaluating the mortgage application. So let's turn to our workbook and let's take a look at problem number 1 and number 2. This is on page 122 of our workbook. So here we have a price of a home is $215,000. The bank requires 20% down and 2 points at the time of closing. The remaining cost of the home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 5.8%. So first we have to find the down payment. So that's 20% down. So that's going to be 0.20 times 215,000. So let's go and do that multiplication on our calculator. And that gives us 43,000. So that would be the down payment. If that's the down payment, then the amount of mortgage is going to be the price of the home minus the down payment. So take 215,000 minus 43,000. So that gives us 172,000. Part C is how much must be paid for 2 points at closing. So remember, we're doing points at closing. We're not taking a percentage of the price of the home, but of the mortgage. So 2 points, that's 2%. So 0.02 times 172,000. And if you do that on your calculator, that will give you $3,440. Find the monthly payment excluding escrow. Well, keep in mind this is a fixed mortgage loan. So we're going to be using our fixed installment loan formula, just like we did with the cars. It's the same thing. All right, so our P values are 172,000. That's the amount of the loan. They said the interest rate was 5.8%. So go ahead and write that as a decimal. And we're making monthly payments, so N's going to be 12. And see, N here is 12, and we're doing a 30-year mortgage. So just plugging all those numbers in. So I'm going to do fraction key, 172,000, parentheses, fraction key, 0.058 over 12. Close it off at the end. Hit our down arrow. We're going to have parentheses 1 minus parentheses 1 plus fraction key 0.058 over 12. Hit our right arrow, close it out. Caret key, negative 12, parentheses 30. Close the parentheses out. And then hit enter. So that gives a monthly payment, we'll have to round it up, $1,900. $9.22. Then what is the total interest paid over the lifetime of the loan? Well, that's the monthly payment. We're making 12 payments a year for 30 years. So we're going to take that 1009.22. We're going to multiply by 12 and then times by 30. That gives us $363,319.20. So that's how much is paid over 30 years. To figure out then the interest, we would subtract off the loan amount. And that was $172,000. So we get $191,319.20. And again, the interest is so high because we're splitting this over 30 years. Now, if the escrow is $350 a month, we want to find the total monthly payment. So we're going to take our monthly payment of $1,009.22 and we're going to add the escrow. And that gives us $1,359.22.